Hi, how's everybody doing? Hopefully you're doing well and pain-free. Excuse the wind noise. I'm actually doing this video outside of my house. Trying to change something up. As I talked about it on my last video, I was having these massive brain fog. I haven't made a video for over a month, and I just could not think straight, could not figure out what to say. Just brain fog, and my mind was really quite empty for the last month or two. So I was just trying to change things up. I still do my regular exercise. My head is a little more clear when I'm doing the exercise. So I'm trying to see if I can make this video being up in the mountains up here, up pretty high. So just doing my regular daily walk. So anyway, so what I want to talk about in this particular video is I want to talk about how I made it through my most painful days, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to it, because I've seen on the on these forums where people are talking about they're just in their early 20s and they're having all kinds of pain, early 20s and 30s, and then you got parents who's talking about their kids are having so much pain, and then they're talking about many other people are talking about they're in the working world. It's really tough to get through the day with all these kind of body tightness, body stiffness, body pain, body ache, all kinds of stuff. So, as for me right now, I'm actually pretty much kind of past those painful stage, because there's so much I actually have been done to my body already, and so far the medications has been working out as is. It's been doing really well. So I just kind of want to talk about how I personally got through those painful days, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. So anyway, let me get this little disclaimer out. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional. Everything I talked about are purely experience of my own that I have gone through in the past, medication I have used in the past or still using currently. So if you need any medical advice, you have any medical questions, please reference those to your doctor. They can guide you through the best possible advice that they can give you. Thank you. So I actually made this video a few weeks ago, and I really didn't like it, and again my brain fog was still there, so I couldn't really remake the video again, just couldn't really think. But what I really want to talk about is how I made it through my painful days. There's two separate phases for me, so I'm gonna break it up into two different videos. It actually kind of took quite long for the first time I did it, so I'm gonna break it up into the first stage, the first phase of my painful time, and then the later on. The first phase, the most painful time, is really when I was a young adult, and the short version is that I missed a lot when I was a kid. I have missed a lot of school days. I missed a lot of school activities, and I was under a lot of meds, and I still end up getting both hips replaced. That's the short version. But there's really two phases of my pain. In the younger days, it started in my hips, not my spine. The spine came later. Starting with my hips, and just a recap of I started hurting when I was roughly about 13, and by maybe 15 or 16, I stopped school and I went overseas to seek medical treatment. I seen first time when I was having pain, I went to see a doctor. All they gave me was non-steroid anti-inflammatory drug. It's really the first line of medication, but the pain kind of continues on, and it made school pretty tough. I just had a hard time just even walking to school. In the old days, we actually walked to school. We don't get parents driving us to school, so I still had to walk to school. So I had to stop school for about half a year, went overseas to look for other kinds of treatment like herbals and acupunctures and all that other stuff. I tried all that stuff. Really nothing kind of slows it down. But for some reason, overseas for actually I was pain free for about maybe 3 years or so, and I actually started picking it up at about age 18, and that was really painful. From when it started picking back up, I had really had a hard time walking. I couldn't stand, and by 2021, I was having so much pain. There was so much inflammation, so much damage. It was very obvious on the imaging, MRIs and CTs by the time I was in my early 20s. Now, I went to Children's Hospital here, and they diagnosed me with junior arthritis, and I'm not sure in those days in the 90s how much they know about ankylosing spondylitis, those doctors. But so I was put on some heavy non-steroid anti-inflammatory drug. I believe Mobex was one of them. Bextra was some other one that is now no longer in the market. Also, I believe Bilateral is another medication I have used. Steroids, I was put on steroids because I was having so much pain. And then I was also been given some pain medication. I don't remember exactly which one, but I know I was taking pain medication as well. And then they also tried methotrexate on me. I don't remember how well I was handling the methotrexate, but the Mobex, actually to me it was probably the best. Between non-steroid anti-inflammatory drug, steroids, and pain medications, I have gone through a few years of so-called manageable pain. Just kind of limping around. If I'm sitting down, I have to stand up and just literally stand there for maybe a minute before I can start moving, because it was so painful. If I just get up and move, even with the medications, it helps, but it never really actually took away my pain. I started working, I think it was 18 or so. Got out of high school. I went to get a job in a computer store, doing some of the tech works. Some days are good, some days are just bad. 18 and on, it's still manageable. By 2020 something, it's really the most painful time. I just really literally cannot walk anymore. So, but by about 20 years, somewhere about 20 years or so, is when I actually went to see a real rheumatologist. I don't remember who I saw at Children's Hospital, to be honest, when I saw the real rheumatologist. And right off the bat, without him seeing any kind of image or records, he told me I was having an autoimmune condition, and he said it's ankylosing spondylitis right off the bat. But by the time when he diagnosed me, and when he ordered all the imaging and all the blood tests and all that stuff, came back and confirmed his suspicion about my condition. And by that time, my hip was so badly damaged, there was just no way of repairing it. The only way around it was a total hip replacement for me on both hips, not only one. Both sides of the hips were so so badly damaged that he can see the hips like you see on this picture here. The joint is just so inflated, and the cartilages of the hip joints, it's almost none. It's almost gone. So really my only option was to get a total hip replacement. Otherwise, there's really no medication that can really fix it or can treat the pain. Literally, I was just grinding bone to bone on the hips. So, but when the doctor said I have ankylosing spondylitis, the first thing he did was he put in a request to get approval for the biologics, and then he also sent me to see a surgeon who ultimately, after a few visits, and he did the hip surgeries for me, one hip at a time. So, I still need support from the other leg when I replace one at a time. It took a good 2 years, almost 2 years, for the complete replacement of both of my hips. When I said it didn't take that long to heal, but it took a good 9 months to pretty much for the hips to feel like my own. I was under so much pain for so long that I felt like I never felt the hip was like mine, and so the replacements just kind of made it. In the beginning, it made it pretty awkward because you feel like you're missing something. But over the 9 months with a lot of physical therapy and the movement of myself trying to get the healing, the muscles to tighten, over about 9 months of time, finally I was feeling pain-free from the hips. And it was really, after 2 years, it was really like the first time I was able to just get up, walk, and I can even run, even jog. I wouldn't say running, but jogging, walking freely like any normal person. Come think back on how I actually gone through. I was able to make it through those days. Was pretty amazing. I can tell you I was on a lot of medication. Also, at the same time, I was trying pretty much everything that people said it's good. Particularly Asian medicines, herbal medicines. You boil those herbs and it tastes like crap. But it's medicine, and I actually believe in there's a lot of nature stuff that can treat many different conditions. So herbal stuff I try, but I believe my disease was probably too strong, but even medication cannot really stop it. But then again, in the early days, I did not start on any biologics. It is an autoimmune condition, so I didn't start on any biologics until after I had the hip surgery. And by the time, when I gone to see pretty much my real rheumatologist, when he said that's ankylosing spondylitis, I already needed a hip replacement. There's just no medication that was able to fix it. So it took me, a good amount of time, 2 years, and a lot of Western medication, Eastern medications, acupunctures to be, electro acupunctures as well. Whatever people said that's good. I have tried medications from east to west, north to south. It's pretty tough to get through those painful days, but like I said, it actually finally took a hip replacement in order to fix my condition. So I don't want to scare people on how bad this disease is. It is a very bad disease, but not everybody's the same. Not everybody has the same severity. A lot of people probably have some pain that comes and go, and if your condition is not very severe, you can probably do some diet change and probably will help a lot. Doing exercise and stretches will help. But in some cases, like me, who has some very highly overactive immune system, really just pretty much nothing can stop it except for surgery at the end. And the surgery is really a life-changing for me. So, but if you can deal with the medications, if you can start biologics in the early days, would be absolutely great. The other really important thing is, I was young, and probably the most important thing is I do have a very supportive parent. I know I talked about my dad who has ankylosing spondylitis, and I'm sure I got it from genetically. I'm sure it hurts him a lot. So, but I have parents that are really looking for every way to help my condition, to support me, to help me out when I was in the most need. And that's very important. If you're a kid, hopefully you have a understanding family as well. But if you're an adult, hopefully you have some people that you can rely on when at your needs. And that's probably more important than any medication. And as adults, hopefully you have a understanding husband or wife or family members that can also help you out as well. So that's my first phase of my painful days. My final repair was a complete hip replacement. Although I have tried many of these medications, and it does help a lot along the way. But ultimately, at the end, it does take a complete replacement for me to get my hips to be pain-free. So that was my first painful stage. So I'm going to end this video here. I'll talk about the next one on the next video. Thank you for watching. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a pharmacist. I'm not a medical professional. Everything I talked about is just purely experience of my own. So if you have any questions, any medical questions, any medical concerns, please reference those to your doctor. Thank you so much. If you like my video, please give me a like. Please subscribe. I'll have my other videos coming up. Thank you so much. Bye bye.